Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. I am Bobby Sampson, and joined with me, as always, the man with the master plan, Mr. Old School himself, Chance Michaels. Chance, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Matt. How about you?
Pretty good, brother. We've kind of been away from the microphones for a couple of weeks. I guess a bit of a rest period, something that we both kind of needed just to kind of recharge the batteries. Took a little family vacay down to Mexico, met some amazing people down there. Shout out to Greg. We shared some amazing conversations in the pool about sports, about wrestling. Shout out to his son as well, who's a big Roman Reigns guy. He lives and dies by Roman Reigns. That's what I've
Oh,
been.
nice, cool.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of really cool people down there in Mexico. Really good time, really good time. What about you, man? What were you up to?
Not too much, man. Just working. I went to a Vancouver Canadians game. Nothing too much. Same
Nice.
old.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Beautiful
yeah.
stadium, that Bailey, on a nice night.
Oh, Nat Bailey is an amazing backdrop, man, and the food is great too. Like, I mean, where else do you get sushi at a ballpark?
Exactly. And they had a fireworks night on too, which is kind of cool. Something different at the end of the show.
Oh,
At
very
the end of the
cool.
game, I mean. So it was cool.
Yeah, yeah. You went down with the family?
Yep.
How did the kids enjoy it?
They didn't mind it. They
The
didn't mind it.
attention span was kind of short, but
It's a long time for them, right?
yeah, but they get to run around the stands and stuff, right? So
Yeah, exactly. So
cool,
it was okay.
cool. Yeah. So since we took a little break, a lot of stuff has happened, man. Like, I don't know, maybe we should start it off this way. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right. This is what's been happening in the WWE since the start of 2022. Okay. And a lot of this has already been discussed. A lot of it is already being shredded to pieces. But you know what? I don't think anyone's really had the opportunity here from the two of the greatest in this podcast business. You and I. Right? Am I being modest or am I think we are one of the
You're telling
best.
it like it is.
Exactly. And before we get to this list, I gotta tell it like it is. Everybody like and subscribe, hit that
Absolutely.
notification button down at the bottom. We're coming back strong. We come back with some vigor. Yeah, man. Just like and subscribe. Samp_Chance is our Instagram page. I give you that because that's where you'll find our bio link tree, where you can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of it, YouTube. So yeah, guys, like and subscribe. Also, we're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Radio, you name it. Wherever you get your podcast, just type it in Samp&Chance, and I'm sure you'll find us. Anything to add to that, brother?
Make sure you share with your family and friends. Let them know about us. We'd appreciate it.
That'd be great. Absolutely. 100%. All right. So let's get into it, man. We have a lot to cover since we have been away. And you know what? It seems like when you go on holiday, all the crazy shit goes down,
It usually happens that way.
right? So I wanted to start it off this way, and then we can just basically segue and flow right into the conversation at hand. 2022, this is what the WWE has gone through. Shane McMahon was fired. Cody Rhodes quits AEW for the WWE. Stone Cold main events WrestleMania. MJF wants to quit AEW for WWE. Triple H retires. Sasha Banks and Naomi walk out of Raw. Reports Banks and Naomi have been released. Serious injuries to Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. WWE moving back to a TV 14 rating. Triple H back in talent relations. Well, that wasn't too long. Vince McMahon retires. And let's
One
start the
thing we
show.
forgot to put in there is Triple H almost died too.
Well, that's the other thing there. Yeah, absolutely. Triple H life scare. And yeah, Brock Lesnar. Wow. Where do we start? Should we start with Vince retiring?
I think so. That's the biggest story of the year so far.
Wow. Huh? I mean, I know the thing is being talked about ad nauseum, and I'm sure everyone's kind of already got their opinion on it, but I think it's oh shit, you know what I'm trying to say.
Unceremoniously.
Thank you. The worst possible way that this man could have retired.
Yeah. He wouldn't have retired if he didn't have these allegations and investigations against him. He would have stayed. So
No, for sure. I
but he
mean,
doesn't want to hurt the brand, so I get why he did what he did. I get it. He's always said then, now, and forever. So
No, absolutely. And he also said that no one's bigger than the business, not
which is
himself,
true.
nobody, right? So, and
Yeah.
you know what? I've given it a lot of thought here. Vince McMahon's footprint on this industry can never be disputed.
No.
100%. Everything, this podcast happening right now, the fact that you and I are doing this, the fact that we were able to talk to people and share our love for wrestling and introducing them to our show and whatnot, all of it is because of Vince McMahon in one shape or form.
Actually, like, I don't know if you heard the quote Triple H said. He said, we'll never be able to fill Vince's shoes. He had his way. We won't try to do it his way, but we're going to do it our way. So they're going to do something a lot different than Vince. It'll be more wrestling, I think, and less entertainment, sports entertainment.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, it's only week 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that, but let's just continue on here with Vince because I want to hear what you have to say as well. So like I'm saying, at the end of the day, like yeah, Vince is Vince. He did everything. Everything that we watch, everything that we love is because of him. There's no denying it. But I will also say, and this is where you may disagree with me, Mr. Michaels, I am happy that he's retired because I think, regardless of the scandals or not, they needed a refreshing of some sort. It was getting stale, and that's just the truth of it, in my opinion. That doesn't mean I wouldn't stop watching it. I love WWE. I love professional wrestling, right? I would always never stop watching it, but that's just my opinion. I felt that it was getting it's kind of like a car, man. Sometimes you just got to change that part, right? And that part was Vince McMahon and the control and whatnot. And it's an opportunity for new ideas to flow and things to happen like way. But again, nothing away from Vince. But at the same time, it was a move I feel that needed to happen. Unfortunately, it didn't happen the way I would hope it would have happened.
No, I hear what you're saying. I wish he would have stuck. Like, I wish it didn't happen. I wish he was still there. In my opinion, I like to see him go another 5, 6 years, right? Because he had a lot. He brought a lot of young talent up, even like the Street Profits and all these guys. So he was working with the young talent. He was bringing the women's division up. So he was changing with the times, I should say. He always said that WCW died because they didn't change with the times. But Vince always changed with the times.
Yeah, he changed with the times, but I think a lot of what you're talking about, the Street Profits and the women's division, I think a lot of that had to do with NXT and Triple H, to be honest. I
Well, he
mean,
doesn't. He lets. That's the thing about McMahon, the greatest promoter of all time. He makes a final call, but he wants to hear all your ideas, no matter how stupid they are, how good they are. He'll hear them all, and then he'll weed through them, and then make the right call.
no, absolutely.
Right.
I agree with you, and that was his role, absolutely. But NXT led by Triple H is where a lot of that kind of happened. A lot of that talent that you're seeing on the main roster are from that time, right?
I think we're going to
So,
see a lot of WWE's going to look a lot more like AEW now, which I don't really like that idea. We'll see. It's like you said, it's only been a few weeks, but Triple H is going to go more for that AEW style, more than NXT AEW style. You're 100% right on that. Or McMahon's more about this is sports entertainment, right? So we'll see what happens. The fans will decide. The ratings will tell all. But if anybody, I wish Vince stuck around forever. But if anybody could take, be in charge of creative, I guess Triple H isn't a bad choice. His son-in-law, so Vince will still be in his ear a little bit.
no, absolutely. And he's got, no one there, because multiple reports have been done. I mean, interviews have been done now. Triple H has been on Impulsive, Logan Paul's podcast. So, I mean, there's, no one is saying they can do what Vince did,
Oh, he was
you
on
know?
Logan Paul's podcast?
Yeah. He was on there right after SummerSlam.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
check it out. It was really good. I'm probably gonna go back and listen to it again. And
Speaking of that, well, we'll get to the Logan Paul match
yeah,
later
we'll
on.
get all to that in a bit. But like I said, I think he's gonna do a good job. I think ultimately at the end of the day, they all realize that no one person can do what he did by
Nobody.
himself. It's
No.
gonna take a little army of 5 to 6 of them to completely do what he's able to do. I think being under that learning tree, WWE is in good hands. It
Oh
really
yeah, they
is
got a lot of people.
because
They got a lot of good people in place.
Bruce Pritchard is still there, right? And having him there, and like you said, Vince is still whispering in the ear 100%.
Oh
But
yeah.
I feel that this is the right time to make these moves. And to be honest, articles are now coming out that are talking about Tony Khan actually, struggling now a little bit with all the changes that are happening at WWE.
Well, because it's
Um,
like I was saying, any WWE and AEW are going to be very similar now. Similar style of wrestling and similar style of product. So
but that's what the wrestlers want to do as well, though. See, that's the piece. I mean, some of the best talent in the world, these are the things they want to do. This is why guys are probably and girls are wanting to come back. I mean, now they feel that they can have a little bit more creative freedom, like they probably did back in the day when Vince and Pat were writing the shows at poolside, right? You
Yeah.
know, there
Well,
was a lot more.
they can
Mhm.
have all they want, but if people aren't buying the tickets and giving them ratings, it don't matter what they want to do, right? So we'll see what
Well,
happens.
again, this is just the beginning of our process. I mean, we're
Yeah.
only 2 to 3 weeks in a post Vince, complete post Vince. I think everything up to SummerSlam and the Monday Night Raw, maybe after SummerSlam, had its footprint on it a little bit.
I
But
look at it
after, yeah,
Yeah, I look at it this way. You got George Steinbrenner of the Yankees, right? One of the greatest owners ever. Well, he passed away, his son runs it. The Yankees are still larger than life, right? But it's not the same. There's very few guys, George Steinbrenner, Vince McMahon, Jerry Jones, they live and breathe this product 24/7. They will do anything for it, right? That's what
the,
Vince is like.
so
So the
would you?
show will go on with Triple H and Stat,
No,
and
for
they'll sell it
sure,
one day.
for
But there's only
sure.
one Vinny, and it won't be the same.
No, for sure. It's kind of like Jerry Jones in Dallas. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he's an owner, but he's very
24/7
hands
lives
on.
it.
Right? That's it. That's his job.
Yep.
But yeah, so that happened. Vince retired, and we move on to SummerSlam, I guess, a little bit here. I mean, again, we kind of missed a boat on that one as well, when we were away and whatnot. But let's just touch on it a little bit. What did you think
Yeah.
of the show as a whole?
Thought it was pretty solid. What about you?
I liked it, man. I like seeing Bailey come back finally, and with Io Shirai, or Io Sky as they call her now. And you could start to see the bit of the influences of the Triple H. Some of these guys that were coming back,
I
Dakota
love
Kai.
outdoor show. There's something about an outdoor show that just adds something special to the pay-per-views. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Especially when it starts in the afternoon and you still have daylight as it turns
That's
into
cool.
night. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's pretty cool. Nashville was a good sight. The crowd was lit up for the show. What can I say? It was a good show. It was decent. I mean, for everything that they had going on
The
and
main
what have
event,
you.
that was something special that we seen there. I
It's
enjoyed
been a
that.
long time since I've seen stuff like that happen, right? I mean,
That was cool.
you know, uh, Brock and that
Tractor,
tractor was just insane to see. That was so
that
much
was
fun.
cool.
Do you think they ended it right the way they did?
Yeah, I like it. I had no complaints about it. I like how Theory came out there and Lesnar gave him that F5. Like, you're not cashing in tonight, bud. It was cool.
Yeah,
Lesnar didn't
yeah.
need to win the belt because with that big payoff with the tractor and stuff, it stole the show.
Yeah, no,
Then
100%.
the
I
ring was
mean,
sitting up, on a three, up on his fours, whatever you want to say. And he's sitting at the top of the ring. That was a cool moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, overall the show was good. I really liked it. Becky
What about
Lynch,
your boy Logan Paul? How do you think he did?
I'll be honest, man, Logan Paul did good.
Yeah, he
I'm
looked
not,
good.
I'm not going to say he did poorly at all. I think he did really well. I think the best things that he did, in my opinion, is his selling.
Yeah,
He's still a little stiff in terms of movement and what have you. But
yeah,
again, I think working with the Miz, and the Miz did a great job with him,
he did. It was a good match. It
right?
was one of my favorites of the night, actually.
Yeah, no, it was done really well. I mean, that spot where he did the leapfrog off the
That
rope
was
onto the
insane.
announce table. I mean, to me personally, that was kind of like a make or break moment for him in WWE.
It was.
If he didn't land that, or if he botched that, that kind of be the end of him. So I mean,
He hit it. He hit it beautifully, actually.
kudos to him for putting it on the line, and respect to him. You know what Jim Cornette said about it?
What do you say?
He said he looked better than half of AEW's roster.
I seen that, and yeah, don't Jim Cornette is a little bit outlandish. I wouldn't say he looks better than half, but he looks damn good, man.
He looks good. Like I said, he just has to work on his movement a bit more. It's kind of like, okay, for example, say I'm going to give you an arm drag, right?
Yep.
And if you're not flowing with me as I'm doing the move, it's kind of almost like moving a piece of wood that's stuck in the mud or something, correct?
Yep.
There was moments like that where Miz had to work with that with him, like because he didn't
Yeah.
understand the proper flow, or he wasn't like he wasn't connecting to it properly. So kudos to the Miz. I don't think Miz gets enough respect
I was
for
just about to
that
say
as
I'm a
well.
huge fan of the Miz. I like his mic work. I like everything about the guy. I'm a big fan of him. He gets a lot of hate for some reason. He's kind of like the Nickelback of wrestling. People just hate on him for hating on him, and I don't know why.
But it's kind of weird. I mean, for the long, you just look at the Miz. He's just that one guy, but he's done everything,
Yep.
and he's a veteran, and he knows the business, right? And I think people have to change their tune on him now based on that match with Logan Paul. Just for the fact that he was able to carry him, he was able to make him shine.
He did.
He really worked with him well to make it all work out. I think the best part of that whole thing for Logan Paul was his expressions. He sold really, really
Did.
well. So
And Miz looks damn good for 41 years old. God, he looks good for his age, eh?
well, he's been there forever. I mean, we're coming
Yeah.
on close to Miz's 20th anniversary in the WWE. I mean, how can anyone be down on a guy who's lasted that long through every cut?
He's a consummate professional too. He doesn't get to do stupid things out of the ring. You don't hear about him beating his wife or crashing cars drunk. You know what I mean? He's a good guy.
He's working hard, man. I mean, if you think about it, he's kind of the Logan Paul of WWE in terms of, ventures and going out there and dancing with the stars, and you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, Miz did Dancing with the Stars?
yeah,
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I didn't see it though. I gotta check that out actually.
yeah. Like, I mean, the guy is just basically survived it all.
Have you ever seen any of his movies he's been in? I've never seen those.
No, see, that's the thing. I've never really watched the Marines or any of those movies. Actually, the only one I saw was the Santa Claus one, the Christmas one he did.
Did you ever see that Stone Cold movie he did? It was really good.
No, I didn't see that one
On the
either.
Island?
Maybe I did. I don't
You
know.
gotta check that out. I think it's called like Commander or something like that. It's a really good movie. It's his best one.
Really?
It's on an
Okay.
island and you gotta like internet and you gotta survival of the fittest.
Fair
It's
enough.
actually really good. Yeah.
Survival of the Fit. Okay, I'll check it out. I might have seen it. I don't know, right? But I can't recall it. Um, I don't know. What else about SummerSlam? Anything?
I was hoping that the Usos would lose the straps for the Street Profits.
Yeah, but I don't know how you can do that right now. I mean, as long as Roman's champion, I don't think you can. I mean, I guess they could lose it, but they're just too strong right
Sorry, I
now.
stand corrected. It's sort of cut you off. It's Stone Cold called The Condemned from 2007.
The Condemned.
Check it out. It's really
Okay.
good.
All right, fair enough. I'll check it out this weekend. Um, what do you think they're trying to do with Liv Morgan? Are they trying to turn her heel now, or are they trying to make Ronda a heel?
I don't know what's going on with that, to be honest with you. What do you think?
Well, they suspended Rousey. They're booing Liv. Oh, hey, by the way, check this out. Shout out to Rich. I've totally almost forgot about this. While I was down in Mexico and I was trying to promote our show and hand out the cards and whatnot, I ran into this fellow Rich from New Jersey who happened to be Liv Morgan's principal in high school.
That's cool.
Yeah, he had some stories to tell, but I mean, unfortunately, he didn't have the opportunity. But shout out to him, and he's gonna probably reach out to us at some time, hopefully. And
Shout out to you, Rich.
he's gonna hopefully share some stories with us about Liv Morgan in high school. So that might be interesting.
That's cool.
But yeah, what do you reckon? Do you think they're gonna make her a heel?
I don't know. I think so. If they're suspending Rousey, how long do they say they suspended Ronda for?
I don't know. I mean, it's all probably work anyways. Probably just wants to go home
I
and
noticed
relax with
another
the
thing that,
family.
that they're trying to bring some of these old feuds and kind of try to bring them to a close and start a fresh thing. So maybe they're trying to wrap this up and start a whole new program or some new ideas. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, like I said, SummerSlam is the beginning to WrestleMania in a lot of ways. A lot of what happens at SummerSlam kind of sets the mood. It might not be anything per se,
Yeah,
but the directions and stuff like that, really after Survivor Series is when you start to see the road forming, right? But um I think we're kind of in a transitional phase with everyone right now. I don't think
we
there's
are. We don't
any,
know what's going to happen now. It's kind of
right?
exciting in a way, I guess, right?
It's kind of cool. I mean, Karrion Cross is back, man.
Yeah, I seen that. He's a Triple H is a big fan of him, so we're going to see a lot of these NXT guys get their chance.
But and Karrion Cross is pretty cool. He's a great wrestler. He's
Where
really
was he
good.
before this? Was he in NXT? Was he on the
He was
bench?
in
Where was he?
NXT. No, he was on NXT, and he was one of the guys who got released.
Okay.
Dexter Loomis, the guy who showed up at Raw last night, as they were handcuffing him at the end of the main event between Miz and AJ.
How long would a Karrion Cross get released? I don't remember hearing about that.
Oh, they all got released. Remember when they were doing all those major cuts and everything?
And nobody picked him up. I'm surprised AEW or somebody didn't grab him.
No, they all tried. He didn't go anywhere. Just kind of did his thing for a while. Just, whatever the case may be, grew his hair out. He was bald
Maybe
before.
Triple H is like, hey, I think old man's going to step down soon. Hang around here.
Who knows, man? Like I said, a lot of these guys are coming back, and these are like pretty big guys here. Like, I mean, Karrion Kross is a definite cool challenge to Roman's title.
You think they'll give him that spot that quick?
Uh, Possibly. I mean, he debuted and put the hourglass there in front of him, right? He
Yeah,
did
and I'm
attack.
wondering when Theory's going to cash in his Money in the Bank here.
Well, I don't know. See, it's kind of all changes now. It's going to be
Because
fun.
Theory's a
Instead,
Vinny guy. He might not be a Triple H guy.
no,
We
no,
don't
no,
know yet.
no. He was a Triple H guy. He came from NXT too.
Sorry. So I should say I don't know if he's as high on him as Vinny is. I should say
No, I think he is because he took the first hour of Raw after WrestleMania.
that's true.
That first whole hour, or sorry, after SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
That first hour was basically him. He cut
Yeah,
the
that's true.
promo. He came out and he had the match and whatnot. He hasn't been on Raw for the last 2 weeks, only for the fact that he's been dealing with a family situation. So that's why he hasn't been on television. But it also serves well for them to sell, the beating he took from Brock and Roman, I guess.
And they're saying that they're still going to go through with the Rock and Reigns WrestleMania match in LA this WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, who else is gonna take it off of him?
And it doesn't get. And if you're in LA and you're in Hollywood, it doesn't get much more Hollywood than the Rock. So it makes sense, right?
No, 100%. I'm looking forward to that. I do believe we will be there for that.
I hope so. I hope to see Brock on WrestleMania too.
I don't know. I think Brock might be done.
He was pissed about Vinny leaving. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know. He
he
might
was
be.
pissed about Vinny leaving and whatnot, but he did still have fun. And how do you top the tractor? How do you top that?
Yeah, I
I
don't know
mean,
how long his contract's for.
if
If his
you think
matches are
about
up
it,
or
well, I'm not sure, man. That's the thing. I mean, I don't even think it's about a contract. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to. He doesn't care,
yeah, he's got nothing to
right?
prove.
He got nothing to prove, and if he's gonna go, do whatever he wants, no one's really gonna say nothing to him,
Unless you want to get your teeth knocked out. Yeah,
right? So I
I
mean,
think we'll see him back because he looked pretty happy doing that.
he looked happy doing it, but what does he come back to for?
True.
I mean, basically, you've lost two in a row now, in essence,
Yep.
right? In essence, you've lost two in a row. Granted, probably not fairly, but I mean, that was the nature of this match anyway, so there's nothing to be fair about it. Anything goes. So it's a last man standing match, but
Great match, by the way. Absolutely. I think it was a classic. It
no,
was good.
100%. I thought my one thing that I really enjoyed is when he lifted Roman up into the little carrier thing and then dumped him.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty cool. I was thinking that would have been an opportunity for him just to lower the thing right on top of him when he was on the canvas and then start the count so he can't get up,
Yeah, that would have been good. I was a little bit
right?
disappointed in the Happy Corbin McAfee match. I didn't think it was that. It was a little bit lackluster, I thought. What do you think of it?
Um, Again, I thought it was okay. I thought it was fun. It kind of told the story that it needed to tell. I don't think they were
Yeah.
looking for a great match from either guy, like, great move set or anything. It was more the storytelling. I think it was
Hmm.
more the facial expressions in that match. I mean, this match was kind of around being kicked in the balls, wasn't it?
Yeah. I
And
have to, since we're talking about Pat McAfee, like
yeah,
I listen to obviously Mad Dog every morning because I'm waiting for Mad Dog to come on. So I hear his show for about half an hour. It's not a bad talk show, but when I listen to him commentate for WWE, I just find him to be a little over the top. I think it's a little too much.
he's way too much enthusiasm or
Yeah, it seemed a
exuberance.
little fake at times. Like he's funny, he makes some great lines. I'm not
Yeah,
saying he's bad, but it's a little over the top when he's standing on top of the table and dancing. And I don't know.
well, I mean, at the end of the day,
He
that's
loves
the
the business. I'll give the guy that. He loves pro wrestling.
no. I think again, this is something he's going to do for a while, and I feel that he might be here for a while. I
I think
mean,
he will.
it's just like when Michael Cole started, no one really kind of said yeah, nah, nah, nah. But I look at him now, and he's grown into the position. He's done very well, right?
Here's a
And
good question for you. I haven't asked
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Who are your two favorite commentators now in the wrestling business? WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor. Who are your two? If you book in a dream match, which two commentators do you want? Like today, present, not the old guys.
Well, what's the old guys?
I mean, no, I'm not. You can't say like Jesse Ventura, Gorilla Monsoon. I'm talking about the guys that still do it today.
Okay. On AEW, I would probably go with Taz and Excalibur.
Okay.
Um, And I think JR is kind of at that point right now. He's who's it? Bob Cole. He's kind of like the Bob Cole now of wrestling. You know what I mean? Like
I
he can,
miss Bob Cole, man.
yeah, yeah,
Love that
yeah.
guy.
He can still call a good match, and Bob Cole, still could have called a good hockey game. But you just get to that point where, like an example, Bob Cole started for 49 passes to 50. He started to forget names. You know what I mean?
It's
Things
hard
like
because
that.
hockey is such a fast-paced
No, no,
sport.
no. I
But
get it.
yeah,
I get it. But
you're
same
right.
with wrestling. It's like some of the nuances that we are known for JR. There's some of it starting to fade a little bit. Not saying it in a bad
Yeah,
way.
yeah, no, you're right. It's hard
So
when you get in your 70s. Your
exactly.
mind doesn't work like it used to.
Yeah, for sure. Um, you know, so I would say on an AEW side, I'd probably go Excalibur and Taz. I think they work really well together. They have good chemistry. I don't think they need Tony Schiavone. I think Tony Schiavone's better working the stick in the ring, kind of more of a Gene Okerlund position for him,
Yeah.
you know. Um, WWE, Corey Graves, I would have to say, as the color man. And you know what? I'm gonna have to say Michael Cole. Those two work really well together. I mean, as a heel face commentating crew, I think that they work well off of each other. That's who I'd probably go with. That's current and available to me, right?
Yep. Well, that's a good list. You know
Right.
what I thought was a good commentator that doesn't get enough credit? I thought Coachman was good, man. I always liked the coach.
Oh, Coach was great. I mean,
He was good. Good
he
with
he
his
was
words.
fun.
He's funny.
Yeah, yeah. He was the Brian Gumble of commentating for WWE.
Yeah, he was good.
The Gumbles. Remember those guys?
Oh yeah, yep. Oh yeah, they're still around. One of them's still around.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Greg
commentators, I got to
Gumble.
give a shout out. Rest in peace to Vin Scully, one of the greatest baseball commentators of all time. Guy did it for 60 years and then retired when he was 88 years old, and
Yeah,
always
man.
did a game by himself.
No, 100%. And that's the
So,
hardest thing to do is commentate baseball by yourself.
oh dude, absolutely.
Absolutely and crazy, man. So here we are, man. Here we are. SummerSlam wrapped up. We're 2 weeks into Raw now, post Vince, and I'll be honest, I've enjoyed Raw. Last night was really fun to watch. Uh, I think it's just subtle changes that we're starting to see now. Nothing major per se. There's still a lot to work on, in my opinion,
Yeah.
but I am enjoying the flow better, to be honest. The energy seems to be amped up a little bit more.
Well, this is like
Um,
it's like you're trying out for a team now. So the old boss is gone. You got to earn your spot now. So these guys are going to go hard for a while and earn that spot again because nobody's
yeah.
safe. So
Well, yeah, there's some guys out there who are probably upset about it all because they feel their spots are going to be taken. But you know what, man? That's the nature of the beast. And it's times like this where you're going to probably find your next Cena or next guy to carry the ship. You know what I mean? I mean, right
people seem
now,
to think like Triple H like a Tony Khan. Triple H knows who good wrestlers are. He'll tell you Ric Flair is the greatest, Shawn Michaels. So he knows what good wrestlers are. So if you're good, you'll get your chance. He knows who's good and who's not. He's not stupid. So
do you think Tony Khan has something to fear?
I think he does because I'll say it this way: when Vince McMahon's there, it's more of an entertainment show. It's more the pom poms of rah rah. Triple H is a little bit younger, a little more of that NXT AEW style. So he's gonna have a similar show to AEW. So yeah, I think he does.
But it's not really a war because they're not going head to head. I mean, one's on
No,
Monday,
they're
one's
gonna
on
get decent
Wednesday,
ratings all the time, but I
right?
mean, this might steal some of the AEW fans who didn't like Vince's style more than indie crowd back over to WWE here. They're going, oh, Triple H is here. Oh, Karrion Kross or Compa or all these NXT guys. AEW crowd loves those kind of guys, and they're going to come back to WWE for this.
It's gonna be interesting to see how this
Yeah,
plays
it's
out.
gonna
I
be
mean,
fun.
it's gonna be fun. I mean, you know what? Here's the best part of it. There's competition again. And I really feel that wrestling fans were deprived of a real competition, and that's because of the genius of Vince McMahon. He bought everyone, right?
Yep,
I mean,
crushed them all.
he crushed everybody. And you know what the sad part is? I don't know if I've talked about this with you yet or not. Do you realize that he spent more on covering up all his booty calls than he did for WCW?
I know. I still don't understand what was going on there. So you're banging a baby in the office, and you pay her to shut up.
Pretty much.
So you know what? Because people know him and Linda are legally married, but they're separated. This banger don't pay her anything. He would have if he never paid them off, he'd been fine right now. Oh, Vince is a cheater. Let him in it. He'd still be in charge.
Yeah. No, pretty much that's what
The
happened,
question
man.
I'm wondering is who tipped off the board about this? They're saying it was an anonymous email, but I think it was a bit of an inside job on somebody.
Rumor has it, it all kind of, and I don't know all the details, so I'm just kind of just what I've heard and seen a little bit of, one of the girls' friend was the one who fucking went and complained. The girl herself didn't complain. It was
Yeah,
her
because she
friend.
can.
Exactly. So her friend went ahead to say something about it. But here's the
Gotcha.
deal, man. Like if you're consenting, I don't like okay, great. I get it. You're cheating on your wife. I understand that.
That's not a crime though.
It's a moral crime,
It's
obviously.
an immoral crime, but it's not a legal crime.
Exactly. I think that's a better way to say it, right? Um, you know,
And
the
they took a
big
couple $1 million, so they're okay. They were okay to take the money.
yeah,
Then about what 15 years later, all of a sudden you're upset. Like what the fuck?
no, I get it, but that, everyone wants to take their shot now, right? That's the kind of
Yeah.
world we live
Some
in.
of these girls actually, Vince can end up suing them if they broke that NDA. He can actually go and sue them
He
for
can
violating
sue.
that contract. They'll have to return the money, which is it's already spent.
No, but I think none of the names have come out of any of these people that, like, oh, another one's been discovered. Oh, another one's been discovered.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they've not necessarily released the names of any of these females or anyone that were involved. It's just their own investigation team that's digging now, like their accountants and everything that are digging through everything and are discovering more and more and more. In fact, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, WWE uncovers another 5 million in payments made by Vince McMahon. That
Yeah,
that that came out today, right?
yeah, I seen that.
Um, but what they're saying on this one was, what were they saying on this one here? Bu- 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 $5 million that he made in payments by Vince McMahon to two people in 2000 and 2009. However, this payment was unrelated to the misconduct allegations. So, what was this money for? You know what I mean? So he's spending money left, right, and center.
The question is it his personal money or is it the company's money? That's
Well,
what the
that's what
question
they
is.
got to figure out, right? You know,
And I think McMahon, I don't know, it could be wrong, but he obviously has some of the best lawyers in the world. So obviously his lawyer will say, hey, Vinny, this better be your own money and we'll do this or not. The lawyer wouldn't, even if he wanted to use the company's money, a high end lawyer wouldn't let you do that
mhm.
because they draw up the contract for the NDA. So somebody, unless you got a lawyer at 24/7 at 2 a.m, what other I would assume the lawyer would tell him you can't use company money.
Yeah.
But McMahon doesn't want to hurt the brand. At the end of the day, he could have stuck around, but he didn't want to lose sponsors and mess around, so he stepped out.
Yeah, no, he's again, it's
I
just
think
not
I think I think the WWE will sell in a couple of years. They'll sell it.
well, I say, you know what?
But
Until
you know
that
what? It's not even that big of a deal because the Fertitta brothers sold UFC, and that company from Saudi Arabia bought UFC, and they let Dana White run it, and they don't even bother them. So it doesn't mean if somebody buys it, that Triple H guys will be fired. They might just step back and still let them run it, just like UFC does.
no, whoever buys it will have to have that type of money to buy it, right? If not more.
Yeah,
And in most cases, people who buy these kind of properties are the ones that just let it do its thing.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
when they need to step in, they will step in.
They're not
You
stupid
know,
people, that's for sure.
they're
That's
not
why they got the
stupid.
billions.
It comes to a point like, okay, if something is going to cost more than, say, X amount of dollars, you don't need to talk to me. Anything
Exactly.
above this is where we have to kind of like, okay, hold on, what do we buy? Sort of a deal,
Yep.
and kind of go from there. But yeah, no, it's interesting times in the world of professional wrestling, my friend.
A
An
year that
interesting
nobody would have
time.
ever predicted happening a year ago. Nobody would have seen this coming.
No, man, and this is going to be a lot of fun. I think we're gearing up for a great second half of wrestling on all fronts. I think it's going to be really interesting to see where it's going now and what direction each company is going to go in. I
Yeah,
mean,
it'll be fun.
you see Tony Khan now trying to create a creative team. He's got
I can't
people in
stand
play.
that guy. He just something about him just drives me nuts.
Fair enough, man. But I'm going to keep talking about him just to piss you off.
Yeah, don't
He's
like that
assembled
guy.
his own creative team with Sanjay Dutt and all these guys. Like he's starting to kind of realize, oh shit, I have to make some changes here to keep some of these
Mm-hmm.
guys here. Yeah, is WWE going to change? Yes. Will they change for the better? I hope so. But here's the one thing that will never change. I don't think the way it's reach will never change.
No,
I don't think the way they do video packages will never change.
no,
In ring, I think we'll start to see some change, but the way
a
we
little
see
bit.
it, the way we watch it, I don't think will change.
Mm-hmm. People
You know?
people forget that Triple H was being, like you said, he's been groomed by Vinnie Mac for 20 years. Eventually, get this spot, so he's no idiot. He knows what he's doing.
No,
He's seen his
and here's the deal,
father-in-law do
man.
it.
He's a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He has in-ring ability. He knows what it takes to wrestle, right? Vince learned wrestling as he went along. He was never a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Nope.
Triple H started as a wrestler. He started from the very beginning. He paid his dues. He carried the ring out. He built the ring. Like, I mean, if there's anyone who's probably suitable for those type of roles, are guys like Triple H who
Do you
have
think there's
lived.
a more hated and more loved wrestler ever than Triple H? Because you got the half people say, "Oh, he's a kiss ass. He married Stephanie because her dad's the owner." And you got the other people say, "No, he's a good guy. He drove the clique around. He's an honest man. They happen to fall in love. Wouldn't have mattered if Vinny was a billionaire or a janitor." See, he's got that love hate. You know what I mean? He's one of the most
Here,
hated, but the most loved.
Triple H put over so many guys
Mm-hmm.
in his career when he didn't have to. Batista only wanted that last match he fought before he retired is because he wanted to put over Hunter.
No, I totally agree with you. I'm
No,
just
no, no,
trying to say that he
I'm,
gets a lot of hate.
yeah, but this is my response to what you're telling me
Yeah.
here. You know, you look at this guy, Triple H. He put over so many guys. Yeah, he had the click. Yeah, he had DX. Yeah, he had Evolution. But those were his brainchilds. This was his work. He worked his ass off for everything he did. When the
Oh
click
yeah.
did what they did, when they did the curtain call in '96, he was the only one punished for it all.
Yeah, good point. And people also forget, even before he married Stephanie, if Vinny didn't like him or think he was any good, he would have fired his ass. So he obviously seen something in Triple H.
If there was something to fire his ass over, was that curtain call, because
He
that's the
didn't.
day they all killed kayfabe, right?
Yeah,
In essence, I mean, no one's dumb to it, but still, it's kind of like you basically destroyed Santa Claus for everyone.
pretty much.
If you're a little kid, you're supposed to believe in Santa Claus till a certain age, and then you kind of move on, correct?
Yes,
That was
that's right.
taken away from everyone now,
That's true.
right?
That's a good point.
So,
Yeah.
so that's
I
what
like the guy
basically.
myself, but I
No,
mean, a lot of
yeah,
people that go,
but
he married Steph to get power.
that's what got destroyed, and I don't believe he married Steph to get power. He married
No.
Steph because he loved her, and she loved him. She didn't have to marry him.
Well, here's another example. He's been married to Steph for what, 20 years?
Yes, 3 daughters.
And he barely had any power when he married Steph. So Vince didn't just give him
Exactly.
power like that.
And like we've stated time and time before, man, especially on this show, no one is bigger than the business,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Nobody is bigger than the business. So at any given time, I mean, why are people focused on the fact that they think, oh, he's this and he's that? Let's look at the fact that this guy worked his ass off. He performed in the ring. He's great competitor. One of the best matches in WWE history would be Undertaker and him in Hell in the Cell at 28. I challenge
Well, that's
anyone.
debatable, but it was a hell of a good match.
It was an amazing match. One of my favorites, anyways.
I think his best match was 2002 SummerSlam when Shawn Michaels came back with the jeans.
No, that was fun too. I get it.
He's
But
had a lot of great matches.
he's
though.
had a lot of great matches, but that for me stands out.
Yeah.
Right? That for me was probably his most epic match. Just from the whole point of everything. Him, Taker, Shawn, all of them in the ring together. And it was an
JR
accumulation.
commentating.
JR commentating. But you think about it, that storyline basically started at WrestleMania 25 with Shawn, continued to 26, continued to 27, and finally had its crescendo at 28.
True.
I mean, if there's a 4-part series to ever be made on a WrestleMania, feud, that would have been it. Those 3. And the way they ended it, the facial expressions, all of it, man. I loved it. That's
it was
one match.
beautiful. It was
One match
well
I can
done.
always go back and watch over and over again and never be bored of it.
I agree.
So that's what I see when I see Triple H, a man who didn't drink, who didn't drug, who didn't smoke, never was like a CM Punk who says, I'm straight edge, I'm straight
I
edge.
can't stand that guy.
Okay,
He's still
fair play.
whining to this day.
No, fair enough, he is, but he never promoted it, right? He just lived the life. He didn't need to prove it. And that's why I think people, right? So what's there to be down on? Yeah, did he make some enemies? Who didn't in this industry? It's competitive, especially at the time those guys were there. You're dealing with Austin, Rock, shit. You had 2
Taker.
Hulk Hogans. You had 2 Hulk Hogans at the same time at his time. and he still stayed at the top with them. He still maintained within the top 5.
Yeah, he was always a top 5, absolutely.
Right? Considering who was there. And he was smart. He was the top heel.
Yep. Oh, he's earned his stripes. Like, I'm just saying, a lot of people say, "Oh, you married Stephanie to get this spot."
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I could say that about anybody who's had any success, right? I mean, at the end of the day, maybe some people do, but I don't think it was the case in this situation.
No, because at the end of the day, Vinny doesn't care who you are. If you're no good, you're gone. Simple.
Plain and
He
simple.
fired his own son. He
Well,
fired
that's what
Triple
I'm
H too.
saying. So there you go, right? Prime example. He fired his own bloody son. So I mean, again, nobody is bigger than the business. Look what he did to NXT when he decided, no, I'm taking over. Him and Bridge, they destroyed. They basically stripped apart everything that was NXT before 2.0.
Yep.
Right. So I mean, there you go.
Yep. Absolutely, I don't disagree.
Very simply put, man, I think we need to give this whole thing a year.
Yeah, we'll
I want to see a full cycle, SummerSlam to SummerSlam, and kind of basically see what happened from this point on forward. So far, we've seen 1, 2, 3 superstars return that were previously, released in the last 2 weeks. That being Dakota Kai, that being Dexter Lumis, and also Karrion Kross right now. Who else is going to return? I don't know.
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out as
we got to give it a full year to make a fair comparison. We'll see what happens.
And I think that's just the best way to go with it right now. Let's just sit back, watch, and enjoy the rebirth of a new wrestling era, man. I think we're really the 14A rating is kind of coming back. I think we're going to see color. They who was cut up the other night? Montez Ford was cut up, and they didn't really shy away from it. They were showing.
Oh yeah, speaking of cut up, we never talked about this. What do you think of Flair's last match, the tag match, quickly before we wrap this up?
He held his own.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3 carried him really nicely.
He did what we thought. He punched, he kicked, he chopped, took a body drop.
Yeah,
so
no, he just looked old. I'm sorry to say.
Boy,
I don't want to say.
Right?
Yeah, no, I get it. He just kind of. I think I saw something from Billy Graham where he posted something to the extent of, that he was disappointed because a couple of years ago he was on a deathbed where people were trying to save his life, and here he is doing the things that they've told him not to do. Just because of everything that he's gone through his body, it's
yeah, but he was just punching and kicking.
No, I get it, but he's still, he loves his color. Maybe he didn't need to do that. I get it.
It's like a band. Hey, we're retiring. Like Kiss, we're retiring. They come out of retirement, do another retirement tour. These guys love the spotlight.
But no, it was okay. I'm not going to say it was awesome. I'm not going to say I was, looking forward to it. But I watched it. It was good. It was decent. I mean, it was what you were hoping it was going to be.
Yep.
Right.
Entertaining. So
I think I'll just leave it at that with that one, man. You got a chance 5?
I do. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, man. Let's do this.
So, who are the top 5 guys that came back that should have stayed retired?
Sorry, say that again.
So, the top 5 guys, in your opinion, that came back that should have stayed retired. So, like Ric Flair, Hogan, all these old guys that come back that should never have came back. Who do you think are the 5 worst ones to do it?
Terry Funk.
Okay.
Only because of the beating that guy took throughout his whole career. He just should have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah.
Terry Funk, Honky Tonk Man, I think he needs to stop now.
I agree.
And I don't mean that in a bad way in any shape or form.
No, he needs to stop. I've seen him many times. Yeah.
I think he needs to stop. Oh God. I'm trying to think here because most of the guys were pretty beaten up, haven't come back. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Hogan's pretty much done. I don't think he's gonna wrestle.
He's not come back. He can barely walk.
No, yeah, that's the thing. Bro, I think those are the only 2 because I mean everyone else is pretty much retired. I can't think of anyone else right now off the top of my head.
Oh, I would say Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Oh, sorry. Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Those guys are old now, man.
Yeah.
Those guys are really looking old. Like, I mean, Ricky Morton, he shouldn't be. No, none of them. Rock and Roll Express should retire definitely. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, he's still going?
Well, I seen him a few years ago. He did that match with Scotty. I know Scotty was under the same match. Brutus could barely walk, dude. He had to hold onto the rope when he's walking.
Oh, okay, I didn't know
Now,
that.
for
So
Scotty, it's cool to see it work with your hero. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to
yeah,
downplay the match. I'm just talking about his in-ring work. He could barely move.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was still competing. I thought he was pretty much done.
Well, this was like, maybe 8, 9 years ago. But
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, no, well, I guess I'm looking more at the perspective of old guys that are still going. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I don't think Terry Funk is anymore, but he shouldn't come back if he ever decides
What
to.
about your boy Sting? He's in his 60s.
Here's the thing, man. Sting is still pulling it off.
He still pulls it off not bad. He picks his spots.
He picks his spots. He's a smart wrestler, right? He knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
and he picks his spots properly, and he can still take the bump. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
And he still looks good. His body still looks capable. So from
Yep.
that perspective, I mean, the only thing that kind of makes him look old is his hairline, to be fair.
Yep. He's
I
what,
mean,
early 60s now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but I mean, he's still doing it and he looks good, right? So
Yeah.
I can't really put down on anyone for looking good in the ring. Another guy that would still look good in the ring if he wanted to wrestle occasionally would be Ricky the Dragon.
Yeah. Dragon still can still go. He still looks good.
You know, he still looks good as well. But I mean, other than that, like I think everyone else is wheelchair bound or have too many metal moving parts in their legs and arms. No one's
Yeah.
really coming back anymore. I think you're really seeing the generation of the old superstar really, becoming that old,
Yep. No, I agree.
you know. I think we're turning a new page in professional wrestling, my friend. It kind of, hey, I just had a thought. Roman's Roman's promo, the first SmackDown after Vince left when he was talking to Theory, your daddy's
Yeah. He
not
said your
here
daddy's
anymore.
not here no more. Yeah. That was good.
That's the only reference they made to Vince on that whole show, eh?
Yeah. That was a good line. It was well done. I like that. It was
Yeah,
good.
yeah, absolutely. All right, Chance. Well, listen, man, let's wrap this one up.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining me tonight, brother, man. I really enjoyed it. We're back
Good
in the
one.
saddle. We're back. We're back. We're rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Um, all your support, everything. Please leave in the comments. Tell us what you want to hear. Give us some topics. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
What would you like us to talk about more? Are there some things you want to cover? Are there certain matches you want us to talk about? Certain pay-per-views, certain feuds, certain wrestlers that you want us to talk about? Let us know. The more that you let us know what you want to hear, the better that we can create the content towards you. That's what we want to do. We want to make this the people show, the show for the fans, based for the fans, you know,
Yep.
let us know, man. I can't stress that enough. And again, like and subscribe. Let us know what you think. Hit that notification button. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. Guys, thank you so much. I'm Bobby Sampson.
And in the words of great ACDC, those who like, subscribe, download, and share the podcast, we salute you.
Absolutely. And in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between times, that's it for Samp and Chance. Adios, muchachos.